Minnesota Rep. Ilhan Omar apparently thinks that the terrorists who killed nearly 3,000 people on 9/11 were just some people who did something. Not maniacal killers, not radical Islamists, nope, just some people who did something. And now the left's up in arms about it. Not about her comments, of course, but because she's getting criticized for it. Now, don't take my word for it. Here's Omar spewing her latest line of bullcrap at a recent event for the Council on American-Islamic Relations.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Yep, just some people who did something. Now, the New York Post is calling her out for it with a scathing cover. And of course, Omar wants to flip this whole thing around. After all, it's not her fault for minimizing a major terror attack by crazy Islamic militants. It's your fault if you're offended by it. She even went after Fox News and Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw for simply quoting her verbatim, calling it dangerous incitement and saying that her love and commitment to our country should never be in question. Well, you know, Omar, that gets a little hard to believe when you downplay the biggest and deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil in modern history. Couple that with your record of anti-Semitism and supporting regimes that actually pay family members of terrorists who kill Jews, and it's not really rocket science to figure out where you stand. But when it comes to the left's standards on stuff like this, I just want to get this straight here. So now wearing a MAGA hat is racist. You can't do that, and if you do, you're a white supremacist who deserves a beatdown. Wanting to secure our borders so that MS-13 gangbangers don't show up and start raping and stabbing people to death is apparently a sign of white nationalism. And if you don't support socialism and the Green New Deal, then you must hate black people and immigrants. Right. But openly disparaging Jews and trivializing terrorists who killed nearly 3,000 innocent men, women, and children as just some people who did something, that's perfectly fine. Nothing to see here, and don't you dare criticize Omar because she is a woman of color, and that makes her infallible.
Do you think she should have rethought her words? Do you worry about the appropriateness of that?
They do this all the time to us, especially women of color. They do that. They take our words out of context because they're afraid, because we speak truth. We speak truth to power.
Have I got that right? Is that how this double standard works? Republicans are always bigots because they don't kowtow to the left's big government agenda, but terrorism apologists get a pass if they're a left-leaning Somali woman who waves a progressive flag. Donald Trump once got called anti-Semitic because a synagogue shooting happened while he was in office. Remember that? But Omar can openly accuse Jews of paying off members of Congress, and somehow that barely merits a slap on the wrist. Now, I'm not pointing all of this out because I expect it to change. The left having one standard for themselves while blaming everyone else is pretty much par for the course at this point. But this hypocrisy needs to be laid out for every single American to see with their own two eyes. If liberals want to label everyone who cares about border security and didn't vote for Hillary Clinton as some hood-wearing, torch-toting, white-bread neo-Nazi, then Americans need to see firsthand how they give out free passes to their own anti-Semites and terrorist sympathizers. And if the media won't call them out for it, I guess I will. And that's your Reality Check, America. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay sane out there.